Today on Ask This Old House.
I'll show you how to mount this range hood and vent it properly through the wall.
I'm going to give this old water heater new life. Let me show you how your old fitting failed. You can see the fitting right here.
And we'll ask, what is it?
8 tentacles. It's green. And the giveaway right here is a control panel right here. What is it?
I got it. I didn't give it away. That's next time on Ask This Old House.
So, Richard, the problem I have is down here in my basement.
Bill, this is not a basement. A basement is dark and damp and cobwebs. This is a museum. I love it.
Well, I don't know about a museum, Richard, but you're right. This is where I keep my collection of old pedal cars. And in
Look at
fact,
this.
This one I'd like to share with you because this is my favorite. It's a 1941, and I particularly like it because of the color and the age.
Mint condition. Now, when I was a little kid, I had one of these Jeeps right here. I remember Christmas
really?
morning going all right under the tree and everything.
Good.
Every little boy wants to have a fire truck. That's
Yeah,
cool.
exactly right. Oh, and then this one, Richard, what I like about this one is when I bought this, it was still in the original box, and I had to put it together.
Low mileage, huh?
Absolutely, low mileage.
We'll have to talk about that one later.
Exactly, yeah, but we have to talk about what's going on in here with my water heater, Richard.
All right.
Yeah, you know, I enjoy working around the house and trying to keep things up and running, and I happened to notice maybe 6 to 9 months ago this debris that was building up on my pipes.
It's hard not to notice. There's corrosion right here on the side of your hot water pipe. Let me explain what's going on. This is your gas-fired tank-type water heater.
Okay.
Cold water comes in right here. It comes to this point. Now there's a dip tube that sends cold water to the bottom of the tank. There's a burner right here. That cold water gets heated. The heated water comes up this way and leaves out through this pipe to the hot water faucets.
All right.
Now, this tank is actually a steel tank with a glass lining on the inside.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that's a ferrous metal and can rust. This is copper piping. That's non-ferrous. So anytime you have the presence of two dissimilar metals in the presence of water, you can have this, electrolysis right here, and that's corrosion.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, what the manufacturer tries to do is try to prevent this with this special fitting. This is a galvanized steel nipple with threads on both ends. But look at this on the inside. It has a plastic lining. Now, that's trying to prevent the water from ever touching this fitting and stop the electrolysis. What must have happened is it must have either been a defect in this fitting or misinstalled when it was first put in, because now it's starting to rust away that nipple. If you left it, it could leak over time and fill this basement.
Oh, okay, so my suspicion was then warranted.
That's right. And I don't want to get those cars wet. Let me run to the truck.
All right, thank you.
All right, to get started, we need to drain out some hot water from this hot water heater. Put a bucket right here, and I'm going to turn off this cold water shutoff right here. Now, what I'll need you to do is to go upstairs and to open up all the hot water faucets in the house. When you do, it'll allow air into all that piping and allow the hot water to drain back to here. All right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to solder down here.
All right.
All right, so you
Sounds
can go.
good.
Now, I like to clean this pipe before I cut it. You know, there's still some structure to it that can hold against me. And also, once I cut it, water could come down. To cut it, I have a special cutter. It's made for tight spaces. It goes right around the pipe, and it clicks on. And now, I just go round and round until it breaks through. All right, so there's still a little bit of water here. Just put the bucket under it and drain a little bit more. Now, I don't need to drain the whole water heater. I'm just trying to get it down to about this height so I can work right here. There you go. Great. We're close. Okay, so the pipe is cut, and now I want to try to back this fitting out of the water heater. But it's been in that water heater for, what, 7 to 10 years. Right. The water heater is heated and cooled, so I don't want to break it off inside the water heater. So I'm going to use a pipe wrench. Now, you could just put that pipe wrench onto the pipe, and you don't think twice about it. You might put it like this, and you can see that the jar is touching right there and right there. And when you push it, it might take that round pipe and turn it oval, and it might break it off inside the water heater. I always like to use this, a 3-corner bite. I'm touching at the jaw, I'm touching at this jaw, but I'm also touching at the back of the jaw, okay? And that'll try to hold it in round.
Makes sense.
The other thing you got to do is make sure you go the right direction. So here we go. Wish us luck. Oh, good. There we go. There are a lot of moments in plumbing when you're really glad a certain thing happens.
I can see that. I can see the expression on your face.
Oh, man. Okay. Ooh, you got something extra here, Bill. Look at this. All right. So what you have here, here's where the hot water leaves through this hole right here and goes out to the faucets. But below it, you have a sacrificial anode rod right here. Now, an anode rod is inside of every water heater, and they're usually made out of magnesium. And magnesium is a metal that corrodes easily. So that means electrolysis goes after it instead of going after the steel tank. So it should make the tank last longer.
Oh, makes sense.
All right? Now, every water heater has at least one, and you've got the standard one right here. You can see this hex bolt right here.
Right.
But you actually have a second one inside this water heater.
Oh, you know what, Richard? It reminds me, when I ordered the water heater, to get the extended warranty, it had to come with 2 anodes.
That's right. All right, let me show you how your old fitting failed. You can see the fitting right here. You can see the remnants of the threads right here, and the rest of them are inside the fitting. You see it?
I do.
Now, I want to prevent it in the future on this new connection, so I'm going to use Teflon tape. Now, with Teflon tape we use all the time, but it's even more important on a connection like this. I want to make sure every one of those threads are covered with Teflon tape. If you don't seal it properly, the water that's inside here could just get to those first few threads and rot it away like it did before. And I want to use it liberally, too. Go around enough times. Good. Good. Once you get it, pull it tight. Now we can thread it in. Okay, but you can see that I actually soldered this connection earlier before I threaded it onto the fitting because I didn't want to melt the plastic. And now I have one solder connection left to do, and that's a coupling. Okay, this is when I hope that all the water is out of the pipes. If it's still dripping, it is not easy to solder. Good. All right, Bill, time to put the water back on. There we go. And the gas. And you, my friend, are back in business.
Fantastic, Richard. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Enjoy.
That poor guy, his water tank was under siege, and in 2 places, right? So on the outside it was corroding at the
Yep.
nipple, which you replaced, but also corroding inside at
Absolutely.
that anode rod.
You know, corrosion never sleeps, Kevin. So let me show you this. I made a cutaway out of a leaking water heater to see inside of a typical gas-fired water heater.
And I wish you hadn't. I don't want to see inside. This thing looks horrible.
Well, it's actually pretty typical. You just don't get to visit in here too often.
Fortunately.
Here's our cold water dip tube. Cold water comes into the bottom right here. There's a burner down underneath it to heat up the water. The exhaust fluid goes through this tube up to the chimney. The heated water leaves from right here.
Right.
Now, remember, this tank is actually made out of steel. On the inside, it has a glass-lined enamel coating. So it used to look like this inside here.
Right. And this is trying to protect the steel because steel doesn't do well in
That's
water.
right. So you can see what remains of the anode rod right here.
Gone, right?
Now, at one time, this is what it looked like, and it sat right here, and this is all that's left in there right now.
That is remarkable. So much corrosion.
That's right. Now, this is a brand new anode rod right there.
Spanking new, yeah. What about this
But
guy?
this is about 2 years old right here.
So it's still in pretty good shape, but you can see how it's beginning to be eaten away at.
This is about 4 years old right here.
Just about gone.
And this is about 8 years old right here.
Really, completely gone.
That's right.
So at this point, your tank is now
That's
being
right.
eaten alive.
Right. Now, you can replace the anode rod, and you could get this water heater to extend its life to 20, 25, or
Really?
30 years.
I just keep putting these in.
But there's important rules. You have to start this process after 2 or 3 years, because after 2 or 3 years, it'll be corroded right in here. You might not even get the old anode rod out.
Right.
So Matthew, you could get it out. So now you get it out here, and it comes out. Now think about this. You're in a low basement. What happens if I get an anode rod like this? I don't have room to get it in here, so they make replacement anodes like this. These are sausage links that are made out of aluminum or magnesium, and it would allow you to sort of go in through the hole here, here, here,
Right.
and drop it right down into the water.
All right, but so what's the magic behind aluminum or magnesium that it works so well?
Well, among metals, there's a certain measurement of nobility. You've got over here, you've got gold, and you've got bronze, you've got stainless steel.
Very noble.
Absolutely. Over here, you've got the least noble metals, you've got aluminum and magnesium. So they're very easy to be offered as sacrifice.
So if you just sort of keep feeding it magnesium, the steel is going to be protected.
Absolutely.
If you're locked in a cage with a hungry lion, just give them steak and eat you.
That's a good analogy.
Might eat you.
All right, guys, here we go. It has 8 tentacles. It's green, and the giveaway right here is a control panel right here. What is it?
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. Usually when you go ice fishing, you know how much I love that. You drill a hole, put your trap in, flag goes off, you got a fish.
Oh, yeah.
This is what the commercial fishermen use.
Commercial ice fishing.
Commercial ice fishing. Where do you think frozen fish comes from?
geez.
So they set this up, they drill 8 or 10 holes, they take one of these lines, they put a hook and a bait on it,
That's important.
drop it down into the hole. When they get a bite, beep, 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 they come out, and the good guys, they have 8 or 10 fish.
Roger, I thought ice fishing was about the beverages.
It's about the fish.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, guys, when we were kids, there was milk.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there are 20 different kinds of milk, right? 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%
It's
milk.
confusing.
Soy milk, goat milk. Yak milk, exactly. Well, this is actually a mechanical milker for some of the smaller animals you might find around the house. Dogs, cats, gerbils, hamsters. It is almost impossible to milk a hamster.
Stop. Hamster
Have
milk?
you had any?
No, and I don't eat hamster. What are you drinking, man? Absolutely not. No. Guys, this comes to us from the telecommunications industry, all right? Now, back in the days when there were real phones, they had switchboards that connect all of the different lines. Hello, I'll put you right through.
Yeah.
Well, now that we have cell phones, fix that for me. Where's Tommy? Now that we have cell phones, they still have switchboards, right? They just happen to be wireless and portable. So you can strap this guy right there on your belt. The call comes in. Hello, this old house. Richard Tathui, I'll put you right through.
For me?
Hello, this old house, please hold. Hello, this old house, please hold. Hello, this old house. Roger Cook, he's ice fishing.
Yeah, give me that. You are so wrong. And you're talking. There's nobody on there. Have you ever been away and you worry about your house plants drying up? You have to get somebody to water. All right. Well, this is a way to automatically water your house plants. You get a bucket of water. You put this in the bucket of water. You set the timer. Then you put the tentacles in each plant, and before you know it, you've got water.
Like mother's milk.
See? No more worrying about dry plants.
We spent a lot of time, about the last 2 months, renovating the kitchen. Pretty much a complete gut job. We were able to salvage the original hardwood floors, all new cabinets and countertops, and we're very happy with how everything turned out. There's one thing that we've still struggled with. We have a chimney hood to install, except I'm really worried about drilling a hole to the outside, so that's where we need some help.
All right, Tracy, here's your hood that we're going to mount to the wall, and then we're going to vent it to the outside.
Okay.
All right? Now, I see that you've already had the wire run up there for the light and the fan.
Yep, we had an electrician run that.
All right, that's good. Now, the issue is that you have this small decorative box right here that is going to hide the ductwork as it exits the building. Now, the problem is, where the hole has to be drilled to get to the outside, there's a 2x4 in the wall that runs right down the whole wall. Now, if I cut a hole or cut that 2x4 out, I'm going to compromise the structure of the wall.
And that's not good.
Not good. The other option would be to cut a big hole in the wall, go all the way over to the next stud on the left and the next stud on the right, head it off, board it, plaster it, and paint it.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. So the third option would be, instead of drilling a hole straight through the wall, I want to drill a hole on an angle, just nipping off a corner of that stud.
And that's okay as far as structure?
We won't compromise our structure.
Sounds good.
All right, let's get started. All right, now to cut the hole through the wall, I'm actually going to use this 6-inch hole saw. And what I want to do is I want to start it straight on, drill it slowly. Now you collect the dust with the vacuum. Once I get through with my pilot drill, I'm going to tilt the saw to get my angle. All right, that's as deep as I can go right now because this side of the hole saw is actually hitting the plaster and bottoming out. So what I want to do is remove the drill. We're going to remove this piece of plaster. Then we can drill another hole a little deeper. All right, my hole saw is bottoming out again, hitting this lath right here. Now, I also don't want to damage the plaster on this side of the hole, so what I'm going to do is cut the lath out using my oscillating saw.
Okay.
Before I go back to drilling the hole, I need to chisel off a piece of the stud. All right, we've drilled a hole through the plaster and through the corner of the stud on an angle. Now we also have a hole right here in the sheathing that was left by this drill right here. Next thing I want to do is I want to take a different drill bit and drill straight through this hole to locate where we're going to drill on the outside of the building. All right, now that we have the pilot hole drilled, we're going to use our 6-inch saw and drill in through the wall. Now, because this hole saw can be very aggressive, I'm going to run it in reverse so I won't catch on the aluminum siding and tear it. Once Once I get through the aluminum, I'll change the direction of my drill and drill through the wood. All right, here is our hood that we're going to mount on the outside of the house. Now, if you see, when I push it into the hole, it's going to be really difficult to make this part of the hood watertight. So what I've done is I've actually taken this piece of PVC trim and I cut a 6-inch hole in it. We're going to lay it all over the hole like that, position it, mark around the perimeter with a pencil, and remove this section of the siding. We'll then inset the block, and when we put the hood in there, we'll have a nice flat surface to mount it to.
Sounds good.
Now I'll cut that out using my grinder. We'll then inset the block, and when we put the hood in there, we'll have a nice flat surface to mount it to. I cut the top of the block on a bevel, and I cut the old wood siding on a bevel also. That way the block will fit right up in there, and it'll help shed the water. I also left some of the aluminum siding on the bottom so the block will sit on top of it to shed the water. Now, to make it watertight, we're going to run a nice thick bead of caulking down each side and across the top.
Okay, now does it matter which side I start on?
Nope, it's ever comfortable for you. And don't stop. So sometimes you have to squeeze it a little faster. There you go. Push it in so it's touching. There you go. All right, now I'm going to push the block right into the wet caulking. Push it right in there. Squeeze it in there nice and tight. Okay, now we're just going to screw the block to the wall. All right, Tracy, what I have here is a 6-inch piece of ductwork. And this fitting is called an adjustable elbow. It's made of 4 individual pieces that are actually on a slip joint. So as I turn it, the pieces can form into an elbow. And the elbow can go from a straight piece of 180 all the way down to a 90-degree elbow.
That's perfect for this project.
Absolutely. So what I did is I took 2 sections of it, and I attached the 2 sections to our hood that's going to go outside. So now we have our flat wall outside. Flat transition is going to go to the angle that we drilled our hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this outside, slip it through the hole. I need you to line it up for me.
Okay.
All right, Tracy, I'm going to push it in, and you line it up.
Okay.
Here it comes.
There you go.
Okay, good. Now I'm in. I'm just going to put a couple of screws in it, and I'll come back inside.
Okay.
These self-tapping screws go right through the metal hood and into the block. All right, now I'm going to slide the elbow into the fitting. You want to cut me a piece of that duct tape.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. All right, mounting brackets all installed.
All set, Tom.
Okay, let's see if we can get this hood up there. You want to take that one side? Slide it up. Get it up, line it up with those brackets. Got it there?
Yep.
Good. Now we'll hold it in place with a couple more screws. And now for the electrical, we'll just connect the wires white to white and black to black. And we gotta push it in. And then we gotta slide it up into the ceiling. All right, Tracy, you want to do the honors?
Sure. Fan works. Light works. Great. Thanks so much, Tom. The kitchen is finally complete.
My pleasure. And if you're a fan of the show, let us know. Next time we might be at your house. Until then, I'm Tom Silva for Ask This Old House.
Next time on Ask This Old House.
Roger, I really need your help. These trees are taking over a backyard. I'll show you how to cut them down to size.
And I'm going to show you an easy way to install a brand new kitchen backsplash.
We are going to have some fun along the way.
What is it?
I know exactly what
You
it
know?
is. Yeah. You ever want to spray paint with some spray paint?
That's what I usually use.